Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to give you my top 5 superhero video games. Now, I've thought about this not too long ago, and I'm thinking, there's a lot of superhero video games that a lot of people don't know about now. That a lot of people don't know about. Everyone just really knows about the Arkham series, which obviously the Arkham series is going to be on my list, but I wanted to, put some other games in there that I think deserve to be on this list. I think deserve to have recognition for being really good superhero games. A lot of them are a little older. Some of them are like GameCube and stuff, so you might have to go back and get them. But I recently played a lot of them, and I thought this list would be interesting and cool to do. So, sorry about the light in the background. I can't really do nothing about that. And sorry about our content lately. We haven't really been putting anything up. We really haven't really been putting anything up, really, and I will do better. I will try to do better. I'll try to get stuff marked on this, whenever we can, but I'm definitely going to be putting up some videos sooner or later. I might put up 2 videos today, but this is my first one. So this is the top 5 superhero video games of all time. Obviously, number 1 is the Arkham series. In particular, Arkham City. Arkham City was the game that really put the Arkham Asylum was great. It was cool. It was great. It was good. It was a cool game. It was a very interesting game. A new look into the world. It made you feel like you were Batman, but this really made you feel like you were Batman. Being in the city, going around and doing all these different things, the villains and everything. Only thing you couldn't do was get in the Batmobile, which you got to do in Arkham Knight, obviously, but I'm going to go with Arkham City because I thought Arkham City put Batman on the map again. It was a great game. It made you feel like you were Batman. The villains were great. The fighting system was great. The gadgets were great. The storyline was fantastic for a video game. And it was just an overall great game. There's not much else to say about that game that hasn't already been said. So, moving on. My number 2 and more interesting one is, this is a personal favorite of mine, is the Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. The first one. The second one kind of teetered off a bit, and there were some cool things in the second one, but it wasn't as good as the first one. But the first one, to me, is one of the best superhero games because not only is the story cool, not only is the story with Dr. Doom being like the head of the pack and you having to figure all this out, you got to play with all of these superheroes. Now, granted, you didn't even get to play with all the superheroes you wanted to, but then the Ultimate Edition came out and you got to play with certain superheroes that you wanted to, like the Hulk and stuff, and even Magneto and certain villains. So the Ultimate Edition came out and fixed that. Or not the Ultimate Edition, I think it's like the Gold Edition. Yeah, I think it's Gold Edition. I've never been able to find the Gold Edition. I've been searching for the Gold Edition for years, and either it was too expensive or I can't find it. So if anyone knows what that is, let me know. I'd play that. But yeah, Ultimate Alliance to me is the most, what's the word I'm looking for, nerdy game I've ever played. Like superhero game. There's so much information in there. There's so much to do. There's so many different things to do and so many different things from the pairing up your groups and having certain groups have certain attributes enhanced, and then from the doing the comic book missions and learning more about these characters. I think if this is one of the few games that I feel like if you completed the entire game 100% completionist, if you're a completionist and you completed 100% of it, you will know more about not just the game but the Marvel comic book universe as a whole. This is the game that really sunk Marvel into my because I was always a Marvel fan. Playing Ultimate Alliance really sunk it in. That is a really good game that I don't think enough people play. And if you're a fan of Marvel, that is a hell of a game to play for you. So Ultimate Alliance is my number 2. My number 3 is my number 3 is SpiderMan 2. The Spider-Man 2 that came out, not the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game, that game sucked. Spider-Man 2, the game that came out after the movie Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. That game, a lot like Batman did before Batman, made you feel like Spider-Man swinging through the city, saving the day. Just all of it, fighting those villains. The story was, it wasn't as good as the movie, but its story was pretty damn good. And just the abilities, you can upgrade your stuff and you can get the different suits. You just felt like you were Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2. It was the first game. I remember as a kid playing that game for hours and hours and hours. Because you just, like I said, you felt like you were Spider-Man. You felt like you were swinging through the cities and just kicking ass and taking names. And Spider-Man 2, for my money, is one of the best superhero movies. It is one of the best superhero movies out there, but it's one of the best superhero games. It's one of the first movies. It's the best movie licensed game I've ever seen. Like, really, it's the best movie license game. Like, it's really the best one. Because it's not a slave to the movie, but at the same time, you could tell that it was based off of the movie, but it is things that happen that are, like, get to the movie points, but in an interesting way. Like you fight Mephisto. No, not Mephisto. I mean Mysterio. You fight Mysterio and these interesting kind of things, and how you meet Mysterio makes sense. He's just pissed off at you. Like, the whole game, in my opinion, is a really fun time, especially if you enjoy Spider-Man. It's the perfect Spider-Man game, and it encapsulates everything Spider-Man is, and it makes you feel like you're swinging through New York. My number 4 is a tie between X-Men Origins Wolverine and X2 Wolverine's Revenge. It's a tie between them because I think they do the same thing for me. They're both great encapsulations of Wolverine. Now, for my money, X-Men Origins Wolverine, that game was a hell of a shitload of fun because you just get through Wolverine and just gut, and you got the blood and guts, and you get to see, and he get all shot up, and you can see it healing and stuff. Like, that was cool. But at the same time, X-Men X2 Wolverine was so cool because it was more comic booky. It was more comic booky, had more comic book elements. I mean, you fought guys like Magneto, you had to see Beast and all these different guys, and like you fought the Juggernaut, Wendigo. Like, that game was awesome. That's one of those games that when you think about back to, you're just like, man, that game was awesome. I recently got it again and was playing it and thinking to myself, man, this game was really fun. You know, granted, some of the things don't work as they used to, but it's a really fun game. Like, now, if you're so they're both equal to me, but X-Men Origins Wolverine was a fun game, and X-Men and X2 Wolverine's Revenge was also a fun game. So pick up either one of those. You probably can get your hands on Wolverine Origins faster, but check out X2 Wolverine's Revenge. It's definitely a hell of a fun game. And my number 5 and last comic book game of all time is, which was a tough decision, Incredible Hulk. Was it? Damn it! The Incredible Hulk Total Destruction. Total Destruction. I think it was Total Destruction. Maybe Massive Destruction. But either way, Destruction. That also, notice a common theme here. A lot of my games make you feel like you're all that character. This game makes you feel like the Hulk, from the fact that you could destroy tanks, you could destroy buildings, you could destroy everything. You could just loot. Now, granted, it wasn't like open world, but you did have missions, but they would drop you off in like towns and stuff. Or you'd be in a city or a town and doing your mission, but you got to explore that little city or town. You got to go wherever you wanted in that little area. That game was so fun. I still remember taking the cars and smashing them together, making fists, making the gloves out of them. That game was fun, destroying the buildings, throwing planes, throwing tanks like 20 feet freaking miles away, jumping up in the air, destroying that game was like Grand Theft Auto meets freaking what's that one game? What's that game where you guys smash the buildings? Where you like smashing the buildings? I can't remember what it is. Either one. That game was super fun. It's an enjoyable game. I haven't played it in a long time, but I freaking feel like it now that I think about it, playing that game, because that game was super fun. And you should look at it, pick it up too if you got a PlayStation 2 or an Xbox One. But I mean, not Xbox, an Xbox. Because I really think, and another reason I brought this list up is because I think we should look back on the older games. Because I feel like some of those older games are so much funner now to me, because games are a little watered down by online play and mods and things like that. That I think it's the art of a good game itself. The game itself, it didn't get a little lost in video gaming, and I kind of and recently, like I said, I've been just playing these older games because it makes me appreciate the way games are progressing now. It makes me appreciate the way they were. And I hate to sound old-fashioned, but I do miss a game that was just good in the context of that game. That you could just have hours of fun with just this game. You didn't have to get modifications. You didn't have to get a freaking $1,000 PC. You didn't have to go freaking get a shit ton of DLCs. You just played that game. You got the game. You can play it for hours on end. And I mean, granted, things have changed, but I found these games while I was, looking up and thinking about games I wanted to put on this list. I found that these games are games that I could play for hours on end and have fun just playing through them, just murdering or destroying or being Batman or being Spider-Man. So those are my top 5 superhero games of all time. And please, tell me what are some of your favorite superhero games of all time. I almost put Marvel vs. Capcom in this. I thought that was a cool game. The Deadpool game was also a hell of a game. And I thought about putting that on this too. But like I said, there's a couple games that didn't make this list that I think they could have made the list. So please comment below what are your favorite comic book games, and please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.